Hello, I'm Joanna Sheen and I'm going to show you how to make a really lovely new home card. Now this is the card here and it's very, very simple to make and will, I think, give an awful lot of pleasure to someone who's moving house. It uses a brand new release from Kinkade, pads number 5 and 6, and in it they've got some really super pictures. Now this is the particular sheet that we're going to use, and you get the lovely house, an extra bit of house that we're going to use as decoupage, and then the sentiment and a pretty border. So here we go. And in the same pad are some backing papers, and here's one of the backing papers which I think is really lovely, and you can see when it's matted and layered onto the card it looks fabulous. Right, next stage is we're going to use that border that I've cut out from the sheet, and all I'm going to do is you just cut it out. By the way, cutting it out, of course you can use nice big scissors, and if you're really good at cutting out, that's great, but I would recommend either a guillotine is what I use, or a paper trimmer, because you get so much straighter edges. Now then, I'm just going to use some double-sided tape down there and pop that onto the card. Again, do open the card. I always say this in every demonstration. Open the card, double check you're doing it the right way round, because it's so upsetting if you've made a beautiful card and then when you open it you realise it's back to front. Horrid, horrid. And we're just going to stretch that, and then by eye hope that we're getting it nice and straight across there. Now then, this is the main topper that was on that sheet, and I've layered it onto some petrol blue type mid-blue card. Now I'm going to put this on with some foam tape, and this is 2mm foam tape, and it's foam underneath. It's like lots and lots of little foam pads all joined together, and I think it gives a much stronger and less ripply effect. So we're going to put that on next, and all you do is down there like that and snip it off. If you wanted to be more economical, you could just put little strips of it and, you know, leave a few gaps, but I quite like the strength this gives to a card. And then, see, it doesn't take many minutes. Fill in that last gap and trim it off. And then, using my handy tweezers, where would I be without tweezers? I did a desert island show once on Create and Craft, and believe me, these, if I had been allowed to get on the aircraft, these would be on my desert island. If not, I'd have to have them flown into my desert island. There we go. And we're just going to put this slightly overlapping that little border you've already put on, and nice and central. I find, because I'm crafting standing up, I find it a lot easier looking down. If you craft sitting down, I agree it's slightly more difficult, but you could perhaps stand up just for this bit so you could look down and get things nice and central. And then the next thing we're going to do is to put the little piece of decoupage. Now, really elaborate decoupage normally has 5, 6 layers, whatever. This is just one single layer, so it's not asking too much to cut out. Try cutting it out with these little decoupage snips, because they really do work well. They're like a little mouse and you just nibble away at it. And just cutting out one's not too much to ask, and it does make a huge difference to the card. Now, take your house and just curve it across with your fingers, just so you've got a bend to it. This is not winding it round a pencil or getting, you know, real curves. It's just, look, it's just not flat anymore. And then we're going to put quite big lumps of pin flare down the middle, and then a little bit less down the sides, like that. Do try and remember, even though it's a pain, I know, in between, almost every time you use it, squeeze the glue to the top and put your lid on, because that's what stops it drying off. And I've had plenty of times where I'm afraid I get sidetracked and I walk away from a craft desk, leave the glue without the lid on, and then I'm sorry. Right, so we just cover exactly where that comes from in the picture, match it up corner for corner, like that. Press down each side and then gently press a bit at the edge. And then finally we're going to add happiness in your new home, and again we're going to use pin flare because I want it at a slight angle, which if you were doing tape or even foam tape would be a lot harder to achieve, but with pin flare it's easy peasy. So now just grab that, and I'm going to stick that just half on, half off, and press down the bottom. And now I would always leave it, well, probably overnight if I'm posting, but there you go. Quick, easy, and I think would go down really well if someone was moving house. I hope you enjoy making it.